Hello class, this is the invisible teacher again. Now, we have seen how Swinburne was possibly the victim of abuse and certainly of flogging at Eton. We have seen how also he has been vilified by certain publishers and his reputation has been terribly tarnished. Now I want to go on and, I want to, another time, I will show how Swinburne himself certainly imagined himself to be writing as a diplomat, like I said Wordsworth was. We will see more about that in another talk. But to return to the subject of derision now, it's a terrible form of bullying, trying to write people out of canons and so on. I went to the University of York St John to look at the library again, partly to re-find Swinburne's poem London Bridge, but I found that there were no books of Swinburne's. Now, similarly, really more seriously, perhaps, in fact, really, devastatingly seriously, I was wanting to find out more about St David, the patron saint of Wales. And I found that though perhaps in the past members of the I know that perhaps in the past members of the church were trained at St John's, there was no golden legend, which is the Catholic volume, which is meant to include all the saints. There was a commentary on the golden legend, and it didn't mention St David. Now, St David was born in Ceredigion, forgive my pronunciation, and he presided over the Synod of Caerleon. Traditional tales about David are found in the Butcher Dewey, The Life of David, which is a hagiography written by Rigfark in the late 11th century. Rigfark claimed that it was based on documents found in the cathedral archives. Now, it might really have been. Some people tried saying it was a forgery, but it really might have been found so and be something that was something of a miracle. Modern histories are sceptical of some of its claims, apparently, so they're not only sceptical of it, but sceptical of some of its claims, completely trying to undermine it. In the dictionary, actually, that word hagiography, which means a dictionary of the scriptures sort of thing, in my in the shorter Oxford English dictionary that I have, it does not mention that word. But hagioscope is mentioned. It says hagioscope is a small opening cut through a chancel arch or wall to enable worshippers in an aisle or side chapel to see the elevation of the host. Well, Rigfark counted Glastonbury Abbey among the churches David founded. 1st of March is St David's Day. Now, the Irish have St Patrick's Day, and we all know when St Patrick's Day is, and the Americans all know when St Patrick's Day is, but unfortunately, nobody remembers about enough about St David, and to show respect to the Welsh people, and have I mean, we know a lot about Scottish days as well. Really, we know about Burns Night and so on. Really, the 1st of March is St David's Day. It is a little known fact about St David that he worked in the equivalent of a modern day chip shop, or at least was seen to be working there sometimes. And then they would fry not potatoes like we do now, which were obviously brought over from Spain later on, but carrots. And that carrots in medieval times were purple. There is also a legend about St. David that a dove landed on his shoulder, or was seen to be near his shoulder. It's as though, from the reading that I'm taking from, the information from, it's as though actually they don't want a big miracle scene like this roller coaster miracle potential pitfall scene that we seem to be having now, but as though there's a milder clinging on to a certain sort of reality that's not necessarily threatening, not, and maybe a little bit calmer. I hope that makes sense. This is not all I have to say about St. David. Let's go on and see what he says about when the end of the world might seem as though it's coming. The Welsh people will rise up. But there's more about other of St David's connections as well, certainly with Geoffrey of Monmouth, and we'll go on to discuss that another time.